In this video, we will be talking about selection. Selection is a very important function in GIS. Sometimes we receive data sets that are relatively big and we are not really interested in the entire set. So what we can do is we can use selection to really select out those parts that we're interested in. Now, there are a couple ways in which we can select within the data set. One way is to select based on the information in the attribute table, in which we will use something called SQL to type in an expression to extract that information out. Now, another way to use selection is to select a data set based on the relationship and the location of another data set. Here I have an MXD where I've added a couple layers. If you look under the table of contents, I have a line selection which I randomly drew in, eastern aquifers and eastern soils. Now, in order to do selections, and especially when you have a couple layers and you're not really interested in selecting everything, one thing you can do is you can toggle on and off different layers, in which that dictates what can be selected and what cannot be. Now, we're probably familiar with this button. In order to select anything, this is the button to push. And so I'll show you a quick example of how it's done. So you typically just draw a rectangle around your desired area. And essentially anything that falls inside that rectangle will be selected. Now, say you have a couple layers, but you're only really interested in selecting the soils. So as you draw the box, you only want the soils layer to be selected. You don't want the aquifers or the line selection. Now, there's a way where you can toggle on and off different layers. So the button to push is the list by selection under your table of contents. So let me go ahead and press this. And as you can see, right now it gives you all the details of what is selected. There are 459 selection under soils. There are 6 that are selected under the aquifers, and it gives you actually a list, mainly because it is a small list. It will actually list everything that you selected out. And then for the line selection, there's 1. So let me go ahead and clear this out. And now everything will say 0. Now say, let me go ahead and toggle the aquifers and the line selection. In order to toggle it off, you can click this button where it says click to toggle selectable. And what it will do is it will go into the section where it says not selectable. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that with the aquifers. So I am going to go ahead and click to toggle selectable. And now the eastern aquifers will go under the not selectable section. So what I want is I only want the eastern soils to be selectable. So I am going to go ahead and draw that same rectangle that I drew earlier. And now only the eastern soils is selected. And as you can see, there's 400 of them selected. And then if you look at under not selectable, you can see that the line selection aquifers are no longer selected. It's because I was able to select eastern soils as the only selectable layer. Now, if I want the other 2 layers to be selectable again, and have these 2 layers to be back under the selected, what I can do is I can toggle that button back on, and now it will say selectable. I can also clear out certain layers. So say I have the eastern soil selected, but I no longer want it to be selected. I can click here to clear the layer selection. So let me hit that, and here it is. Now let me show you other ways to create a selection. So right under here, under Select Features button, there is a drop-down in which you can select a different shape in which you can create a selection based on. So the default will always be select by rectangle, which as you saw earlier, you just draw a rectangle and everything that touches the rectangle will be selected. Now another one is the select by polygon. So let me go ahead and click that. And basically you're just adding vertices around the area that you're interested in. And then in order to finish it off, you just double click. And so anything that touches that polygon is now selected. So let me go ahead and clear that out. And the next one is select by lasso. And now this looks exactly like a lasso. It is a rope with a nose at one end. So I'm going to go ahead and click somewhere in the middle and then just draw it around. and just let go. And as you can see, all the different features are selected based on the lasso shape. So let me go ahead and clear that out. Another one is select by circle. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a circle and I'm going to let go. And then as you can see, all the features that are touching that circle were selected. I'm going to go ahead and clear this out now. And then the last and final one is the select by line. And as it sounds, you can draw a couple of lines, and then now all the features that touches that line will be selected. Let me clear this out. And so another selection aspect of ArcMap I want to show you is right under the selection, there is an interactive selective method. So here, as you can see, it says create new selection. This will always be defaulted. So let me go ahead and create a new selection. I'm going to go back to my rectangle. I'm going to draw a rectangle, and here's my selection. Now, if I want to add on to my current selection, all I have to do is go into the selection, interactive selection method, and add to current selection. And I can click anywhere, a rectangle anywhere, and essentially it will just add on to my current selection. So let's take a look at what else we have. We also have remove from selection. So whatever currently is selected, you can go ahead and draw a rectangle within that selected area, and it will be removed. As you can see, got removed. And the last and final one is select from current selected. So again, you can draw a rectangle within your selection, and it will just go ahead and reselect your current selection. So let me go ahead and do that. And now it is reselected.